Yeah, once again, my name is Victoria Tizar. I'm head of strategic partnerships at Elecard, and I'm joined today by Ivan Rodianov, who is product manager and product owner at Elecard. Ivan, just a few words about your background and your experience.
Hey, hello everyone. My name is Ivan, and I'm a product manager and product owner at Elecard. And I've been working in software development and video technologies for over 20 years already, contributing to a broad range of projects, including deployments in large-scale streaming environments and complex sports and transportation projects.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Ivan. It's just valuable experience. Thank you for joining us today as well. So let's go ahead. Um, yeah, most of you probably know Elecard for our transcoders or video quality analyzers. That's we've been associated for many years. But today we'd like to shift our focus more on the another part of our ecosystem. It's our digital signage content management platform. And the workflow, you can see it highlighted with the purple. It's like a purple block on the workflow. And while we were preparing for this webinar, we had plenty of insightful conversation with Ivan, deciding how to present the product and how to enumerate its features and how to show everyone how it can be implemented. And what is one of the like key takeaway is that it's not only for one market. So ViCont can be applied for different environments, for different markets. So it reaches much further. And Ivan, I would like to jump to the next slide and take a closer look on how this platform actually enables.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. Sure. So if we think about it, there is always a need to deliver some specific content to a specific audience. Sometimes on a
Sure.
schedule, sometimes as a part of a subscription model, sometimes simply as informational messaging. And what's interesting is that very different industries often have very similar needs. For example, in transportation, displays can inform passengers about the next stop or provide some emergency alerts. In hotel, the same concept is used to deliver welcoming messaging or guest information. And sports events are another great example where you can distribute live information, updates, advertising across different areas of a venue.
Sure.
And everything should be done in a coordinated way.
Yeah, sure. So that's proof the word that it can be implemented in different environments. So let's say for retail, right, where it can form and enhance, let's say, shopping experience or influence shoppers' behavior, let's say, or healthcare where screens can serve as the informational um, like informational content or some guidance. So there are different way, right, to use this information. But also you mentioned this sports and entertainment venues. I would like to clarify one details. When we are talking about different types of content, so for sports, let's say, usually we use like live broadcasting, right? Like live content. But let's
Yeah.
say for retail or any other informational type of content, we use prepare content, let's say, like prepared information. So how does it correlate to each other? Does it mean that VCon supports like both scenarios, let's say?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Uh, let's move to the next slide, and it will show how the system works, how it can combine these scenarios.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, and one of the key advantage of VCont is the ability to consolidate traditionally separate systems like digital signage, IPTV, middleware, and everything is consolidated in a single platform. And instead of relying on multiple specialized solutions, operators can work within one single environment that is designed to handle broad spectrum of content and content management and delivery tasks. So ViCont is built like a client-server architecture, and it enables centralized control and coordination across the entire deployment. And from a unified control center, operators can manage live broadcast channels, file-based assets, digital signage content, and everything can be done simultaneously. And this approach simplifies operational workflows. It reduces complexity, and it allows for consistent content orchestration across different screens, different devices, different locations. And so, by combining these capabilities in the one platform, ViCont provides both technical efficiency and operational flexibility, making it well suited for environments where multiple content types and delivery scenarios must coexist simultaneously.
Okay, that's a perfect example. And let's just stop here to focus more on the practical side. Let's say if we summarize this functionality, let's see what it actually means for a project. So when I look at this slide, I can see the key capabilities. I can see the operational side of the of ViCont, and let's say what stand out here is its flexibility and customization that you already mentioned, right? So are we talking about this? Yeah, that's the complex of the flexible and customizable solution.
Yeah, exactly. To put it simply, the core value ViCont brings to any project is flexibility, as you said, in content orchestration. You can build custom playlists, insert targeted advertising, deliver different content to the viewers. And the platform supports different deployment models. It can be done on premises or in a private cloud. And it also can include DRM support for security, live content delivery for OTT streams. And beyond the technical aspects, we place strong emphasis on usability, aiming to keep the interface intuitive and operationally efficient, because it ensures responsive and reliable support.
Yeah, for sure, it's very important. And so we mentioned usability, we mentioned capabilities, we mentioned all these components of ViCont. But let's just imagine that I'm your user, right? I'm your customer. So I would like you to explain what are typical steps, or what should I go through to launch a ViCont project?
Yeah. The workflow is actually quite straightforward, quite easy. You just begin with adding different types of content to the system. It can be a file, some live stream information, a web page address, presentation, or whatever. And then you define groups of playback devices, depending on how you want to distribute the content. And after that, you schedule your streams, content rotation, or dynamic advertising rules. And once everything is configured, you simply launch the system and it works. And an important part of the process is that the platform also provides detailed statistics, giving you visibility into how everything performs right now in real time.
Okay, so yeah, the steps are pretty much, I don't know, pretty much stepped here. So I can see every step. That's super helpful. And I see that we can see statistics, and and you also mentioned that we can use analytics. And when we are talking about this types of analysis, what actually we are talking about?
Yeah, ViCont provides comprehensive playback analytics for each individual device or defined group of devices. For example, operators can see whether specific files or streams were played successfully, how long they were displayed, and whether any issues occurred during playback. And so you can also generate aggregated statistics using different filters, and it helps to analyze performance across different devices, different locations, different content types.
Okay, so we can see every detail, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's super helpful as well. So thank you for sharing that. And while we were preparing for the webinar, once again, we were talking about real world deployments in various environments. So which sectors have adopted the platform already?
We already implemented ViCont across several domains, including sports events, transportation environments, public sector projects. Each project was with its own operational requirements, its own challenges.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. And let's maybe start with sports venues, because like 2026 obviously is like the sports year. We already went through some sports events, and we're having another ones upcoming this year. So let's begin with that. So international sports events.
Yeah. And of course, for sport, live streaming is very important. And in that particular project, our goal was to enable the delivery of live broadcasts from different events to the set-top boxes, to the devices, which were deployed across multiple stadiums in different cities. And the key challenge was not only transporting the streams, but also ensuring centralized management and consistent control over what was being displayed at each location. So we established a workflow where content was received from the IBC center. It was processed through IPTV transcoders and then distributed to the venues. An important aspect of the deployment was the ability to overlay advertisements and event-specific information depending on the designated screens or areas within each stadium. So during the proof of concept phase, we were able to validate, fine-tune several stages of the pipeline, like from stream handling and synchronization to playlist management and ad insertion logic. And this period was critical for troubleshooting and optimizing the overall behavior under real conditions.
Yeah, sure.
From the ViCont side, we configured device groups, combined file-based playlists with live streams altogether, and we coordinated how the content was delivered across different endpoints. And this allowed operators to dynamically control both scheduled and live content, and all was done within a single environment.
That's perfect. That's very good example. And apart from what we were talking about right now on a slide, like people like numbers, right? So
Absolutely.
in sense, yeah, in sense of the scale, let's talk about some numbers and how big was the deployment?
Yeah, actually, honestly, this is one of those projects that really stands out for me because we ended up delivering around 30 IPTV streams to roughly 3,000 set-top boxes, and they were deployed across 16 stadiums.
Okay, wow.
Uh, yeah, the platform support both wide and play-ready DRM. It was critical for security requirements.
Sure, yeah.
But beyond the numbers, what made the deployment interesting was the level of control. Everything like live feeds, scheduled content, targeted messaging, advertising, everything was managed centrally from one point, from a
Hmm.
single hub. And operators could monitor and control what was happening on screens across multiple cities, multiple venues.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing these details, Ivan. The other question, let's say, kind of tricky because since it's like live event, everything can happen, right? And we all have some kind of surprises, right, during the live event. So maybe you can share if something unpredictable happened during the event, or maybe you had some challenges that you would like to share that you overcame.
Of course, sure. Like most large deployments, of course, we had our challenges. And one of the biggest challenge was legacy setup boxes, which were already installed in
Yeah.
some stadiums.
Mm-hmm.
Different hardware generation, inconsistent firmware, everything like in classic real world conditions. So we spent quite a bit of time fine tuning playback behavior and adapting streams to keep everything stable.
I'm sure.
And another challenge was the environment itself.
Uh-huh.
Because live sports workflows very sensitive to timing,
Yeah.
synchronization, network conditions. So when you are dealing with multiple stadiums and thousands of endpoints, even
Mm-hmm.
small inconsistencies can become very visible very quickly. And also, we had situation where different zones within the same stadium required
Mm-hmm.
completely different content logic, like VIP areas versus public displays. And so that added another layer of complexity to
Yes.
schedule any content orchestration. So it became more complex than we thought. But
Sure, sure.
Uh, finally, ultimately, that's where the platform's flexibility became crucial.
Oh yeah, I'm
Because
sure. Mm-hmm.
yeah, we could adjust configuration, like group the devices intelligently, and so we stabilized the entire workflow, and everything worked fine. Finally,
You made it, Ivan. You made it. Yeah, that's
yeah,
another
yeah,
great
it was
example.
interesting.
Yeah, it's like another great example to show how project was implemented not on just diagram and how the software works not on just diagram but in real life. And so thanks for walking us through the sports venue example. And the other thing we were talking about is the ground transportation, right? So we
Yeah.
can jump on the next slide to take a look at the project is dedicated to screens and the metro trains and ground transportation. I'm giving you the floor.
Yeah, it is another good example. And in this case, we're working on a unified platform to deliver targeted media content and real-time notification across different type of screens installed throughout metro halls. If we simplify it, the deployment essentially had two main components. First, informational panels used for passenger guidance and service messaging. And the second, digital advertising screens intended for commercial and promotional content. So, given the nature of a metro system, multiple lines, numerous stations, thousands of trains operating daily, the key requirement was flexibility again, combined with centralized control. And the platform enabled us to create customized scheduling, customized policies for each metro line, and to adapt content depending on location or context. And we could also apply like dynamic overlays, such as time or weather information. We could place it directly on video streams. And of course, operational visibility was very, very important because the system could provide reliable playback statistics for every display, and it allowed operators to verify content delivery and quickly identify any issues. Yes, first identify issues and then, of course, react on that.
Yeah, that's very important, especially for, I don't know, for ground transportation that everyone uses every day. And once again, for numbers, how big was the rollout?
Right now, it operates across like roughly 400 screens, but the rollout is still expanding because the partner continues adding new locations, new display points, and so it will be bigger.
Okay, yeah, that's great. That's great. And it's, once again, it's very important, very, very significant deployment because like if we think about the passenger experience, we use it every day. It's very essential for us. And moreover, from what I've heard from you and what we were talking about before the webinar, it's not only about just the static information, right? It's also the navigation cues, the route, the stop details, I would say service announcement, and maybe some operational updates, even some emergency messaging, right? And so from this point, all the passengers, they are context aware and they are content aware. They have this information. And also from the operational and operators perspective, it's not only their communication way for them to communicate with the passenger, but also, let's say, we can call it revenue channel through ads, right? So am I correct when I'm talking about that we are talking about that both parties, they get their advantages, right? So it's like a combination of commercial and informational content, right?
Yeah, that's exactly the idea. The screens serve multiple purposes at the same time. They are not just informational or purely commercial. They become the part of the overall infrastructure. And operators can adapt the content depending on the station, time of day, some specific scenarios when they maintain centralized control. And actually, we see very similar needs in other type of games, like entertainment parks, for example. In this case, you have large distributed spaces with different visitor flows. And screens are used for guidance, live updates, event schedules,
Okay.
safety messaging, and of course, promotional content. Uh, so the underlying challenge is the same: how to manage and coordinate diverse content across many points, and everything should be done flexibly and in a controlled way.
Okay, so once we already touched this entertainment parks topic, so let's jump to the example of how it can be used. So as far as you mentioned, they can be used for entertainment parks and some kind of resort, and we have like dozens or hundreds of large parks in operating in the US, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are dozens of large parks, maybe hundreds, I don't know. And
Sure.
each large park works as a highly dynamic ecosystems with thousands
Yes.
of visitors, with multiple zones, and
Mm-hmm.
very big number of screens. So it's not only about the entertainment. Um, these venues are complex communication environments where
Okay.
delivering the right content at the right time is very important. And with ViCont, with this platform, the idea
Mm-hmm.
is to create a unified guest communication platform. One platform that supports multilingual, context aware, and visually engaging content delivery for a truly international audience.
Okay.
Uh, in practice, this means that operators can manage multilingual content,
Mm-hmm.
combine, as I already said, combine live streams with scheduled media and display dynamic information like weather or event updates within one single system. Uh, and the platform also enables targeted advertisement and interactive elements like QR codes,
Yeah.
while allowing like some web interactive mode. Yes. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
while allowing different park zones to operate with their own content logic, with their own layouts.
Okay, yeah, that's super helpful, especially for like big, let's say, entertainment parks when this interactive super matters, to be honest. And you also, we several times we mentioned this word flexibility. So what I can see from what we discussed right now is that all this project they are pretty much flexible, and that flexibility helps a lot for this project. And with ViCont, you can manage like live broadcasts, you can integrate informational content, you can coordinate schedules, you can present dynamic data, you can support ad workflows. And as far as you mentioned, it can be done all within one single system. And what is important here at this point is that we are not talking about only this technical feature, right? We are also shaped as business side of this deployment. And this project like that, like entertainment parks or resort and the previous one that we discussed, they naturally open this layers of value creation for partners. So let's take a closer look at how partners can benefit from Elecard ViCont. Um, so from for our partners, ViCont projects are, let's call it like single source opportunity, right? From the hardware perspective, deployment that can scale through devices, playback devices, or display monitors, and it directly drives volume and infrastructure revenue. From the software level, it can be software license and recurrent periodic updates. They create long-term predictable income. Um, from the other perspective, it can be integration component, right? Because the project require customization, they require engineering deployment works, which create a project-based revenue. And once again, system is live. It requires ongoing maintenance and support. It requires monitoring, troubleshooting, which means long-term service relationship. So from the partner's perspective, it's not one-time sale, I would say. It's like partners participate in multi-layer commercial ecosystem. And Ivan, what I would like to do on the next slide is just to sum up what we were talking about. And if you have any comments, please feel free to join me in summarizing what we went through. With today's discussion, we wanted to provide not only clear understanding of the platform itself, but also to give a broader view of how such system, how they can shape real operation environment, right? And like, let's say, business model. So platform ViCont is not about the, I would say, content playback or just screen management. Is some more, right? It's like intersection of one, technology to operation and business strategy. So you can deploy it anywhere from, let's say, starting from sports venues, ground transportation, retail, international, some international environments, entertainment venues, resorts. So just everywhere where you need to deliver the right content to the right audience at the right moment, right? And when you would like to have centralized control and be able to measure all the statistics and all the performance. So that's a summary of what we were talking about, just in a few words. And
thank you, Corinne.
Ivan, thank you for joining me today, for joining the conversation and for sharing your experience. At this point, we are happy to answer any question that we have in a Q&A tab. Yeah, please, or you can raise your hand. We'll also enable this feature here.
Actually, I can see two questions in the chat. Yeah, it's Q&A tab. So, and I will answer them.
Okay, yeah.
The first question, the first question is, what protocol does the server use to manage the players? It is HTTP or HTTPS for security reasons. And it means that the server and the devices can be located in different locations. Like we talked for sports events with different stadiums, in different cities. So it can be very distributed system, and it uses the standard HTTPS protocol. Yeah, I think it is done. And the second question, how many players can one server handle? And again, as we talked, when we talked about the example of sports events, we were talking about 3,000 devices.
3,000.
So the number can be like thousands of devices. We cannot. I'm not sure about tens of thousands, but thousands. It's absolutely normal for this system. Thousands of devices.
Typical. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for the question.
And the next question, this is cloud-based control. It can be done in cloud. Actually, for example, if the devices are distributed across different venues, it is better to use a cloud service. But for some projects, it can be done in one like closed network. So in this case, it's better to use the server installed on premises inside this closed network without like external access. So it can be different, but cloud is normal.
Is an option.
Yeah.
Is an option. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. And I see a few thank you notes for Ivan to sharing this information. Thank you so much. Yes, if you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to contact us. We are more than happy to share some more information and to provide you with a trial. Oh, really?
Can I see some picture of control? I think it can be shown. You can see it on our website. There are screenshots of. I'm not ready to show it right now. Yeah.
Sure.
How it looks in like in life, but you can visit our website, check the ViCont product page, and see some screenshots of web interface. And if you are interested in it, we can give you access to some cloud service to play with it, to click the buttons and to see how it works.
Yeah, we are also very flexible with providing the trials and everything.
Yeah. And another question. Sorry. There is a question from Tiago Chavez. If it's on premises, we can use the standard network client to share the video. I don't quite understand the question actually, because if it is on premises, you can just our server has a web interface. You can enter this web interface and configure everything, configure all the devices from one point, from one central control center. Yes, and I don't quite understand what is the standard network client. It's like it uses web interface for controlling everything. Yeah, I understand. No, internet is not required. So if it is on premises, you don't need internet. The only requirement is that the devices, the players, set-top boxes, they should have ability to access the server, and that's all. So it can be without any external internet access. It's okay. Yeah, and the next question from Norman. Each location can set up the number of screens and what is play out in each screen. Yes. No live programs were sent across the internet, only call set up and tear down. If we are talking about the streams, so ViCont is a system for configuring the devices, to schedule the content, to schedule which live content should be shown at which time. And so it doesn't mean that the live streams should be delivered through internet. For example, you have one set of live streams in one venue and another set of live live streams in some other venue, and you just can configure them from central point. But it's not about providing the streaming. It can be done with different Elecard products, like CodecWorks, the product for live streaming. So it can be, in this case, these products can work together. Like one product for providing live streaming, like on the venues, like in different stadiums, and ViCont to manage all the devices, all the set-top boxes.
Okay, we actually are running out of time. So if we have any other question, let's move them to the offline mode. We will be more than happy to answer them. Okay, once again, thank you everyone for attending the webinar. Thank you, Ivan, for joining the conversation today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for your questions.